really need to get a tripod or something, make these kinds of things a whole lot easier. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Cooking with Ragnarok, and today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. Now, let's say that you got that promotion you always wanted, or hell, maybe you got a raise, or maybe you got that special somebody to agree to come back home with you, and you just feel like celebrating by throwing down in the kitchen. I'm going to show you how you can by cooking a steak. Now, cooking a steak is not really as hard as some people like to think it is. I'm going to show you how it's very simple and can be done with just a very small list of ingredients. Take a look. Right now, we are working with a New York strip. Look how. We're going to be doing a baked potato the lazy way. And these are all the ingredients that we're going to use. Now, a good cut of steak, if you get it from a butcher, is going to run you a fair amount of money. Now, personally, I do my shopping at a grocery store. This particular strip was about 15 bucks for two of them. I know the steak purists out there are probably scoffing at the idea of spending only a measly $15 on steak, but hey, we might be celebrating, but we're still kind of on a budget, so we got to work with what we got. And for dessert, bam, Marie Callender's cherry crumble pie. I know what you're probably thinking. Ragnarok, you have not done anything store-bought yet. Why would you start now? I don't feel like making... You know how hard it is to make a pie? God damn, I'd be in here all day. I ain't got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Shit. Cherry crumble. Marie Callender don't play. Y'all better recognize. So we got the oven already heated up to about 400 degrees. We're going to do the pie first. It takes about 45 minutes to cook, so we don't got to worry about it. We throw it in there and forget about it. 45 minutes, 35, 45 minutes. All right. Don't got oven mitts, working with a monster. All right. Oh, that's hot as shit. Bam. All right. And we're done. We'll see you next time. I'm just fucking with you. All right. So the first step in cooking a steak is to season. Before we do all that, I'm going to go ahead and cast the potato into the microwave. I told you we've been doing it the lazy way. Now, you can cook a potato in the oven, obviously, but it takes about 40 to 50 minutes, and I ain't got time for all that, especially since steak doesn't really take all that long to cook. So we already went and we poked it. You can't really tell, but we poked the shit out of it with that fork. That way it doesn't blow up when we put it in there. So we're going to stick it in there for, 5 minutes on one side and then 5 minutes on the other. Being lazy. All right. Okay, so for your steak, now, it's all a difference. It's a matter of opinion. Some people, salt, pepper, that's it. Some people use ketchup, and they need to be shot. We don't use ketchup on steak in this kitchen, or in any sane-minded kitchen. Now, we could get fancy, but we're not going to. So we'll review the ingredients again. We have butter, thyme, olive oil, salt and pepper, a little bit of garlic. And that's really all you need. You don't need to have any kind of fancy steak sauce. I mean, if your steak needs sauce, you didn't cook it correctly. Get yourself a drink or something, but don't tell nobody what it is, because nobody needs to know. It's between you and the cup. That's good. Okay. So to start with, I'm going to use some salt. I may have to put you down here, because I cannot do this with one hand. We need to get a tripod. That's what we need. So we're going to use a moderate amount of salt on one side of the steak. I don't like too much on there. Turn it over. Now it's important to note that when you are doing the steak, you keep it in the refrigerator, but you take it out of the refrigerator at least 20 to 40 minutes before you start cooking it. That way it doesn't get super tough and you won't be chewing it for more than a day. About 20 to 40 minutes beforehand, just let it sit. The exact time may vary among different chefs. Alright, we got the salt on there. Go ahead and just throw some pepper. We can be a little generous with the pepper, that's okay. Any one of those ones where you, like they got the restaurants, so them things you can know, you go, how much would you like? And they go, you get that big thick amount of pepper on there. Any one of those. You can see if I can find a deal on it. All right, we are going to really get that salt and pepper in there. There's really not a whole lot that goes into doing this. People really overcomplicate cooking a steak. What's going to matter most is how you season it. And with steak, really less is more. Gotta get it in there, pat it down. All right, we're gonna go ahead and wash our hands here. And we're going to turn the stove on a mid-high setting. We want it to get nice and hot. Put it on, I don't know, 6.5, 7, somewhere in that area. Bam. Alright, now we just gotta wait for that. We may throw a little more black pepper and a pinch more salt on there, but for now, we're gonna take a quick break while the stove heats up. See you back. See you in a minute. Alright, we are back. Right now the pan is very hot, which is exactly what we want. So we're gonna go ahead and add the olive oil to it. Now we did go back and we did add a touch more pepper and salt to both sides of the steak. Give it a nice good rub down. So put a fairly generous amount of oil in there. Might have been too much, but hey, it's all good. Get it. Probably was a little too much. I poured a little bit of that out. Hold up. There we go. Get it all nice around that pan. Make sure it's nice and slick. Remember, boys, you don't want to put it in dry. All right. Still nice. All right. Now if that's ready, we can go ahead and toss the steak in there. You want to lay it away from you, that way the oil doesn't splash up in your face. That could be a slightly unpleasant experience. All right, ready? Oh, yes, sir. That is the sound we are looking for. Alright, gotta make sure every bit of that steak is in the pan. Yeah, buddy. Go ahead and we're gonna wash the hands off a little bit. 1 second, don't mind the darkness, folks. Don't be scared of the dark, baby. I got you. Just follow the sound of my voice. All right. Different schools of thought on this one. So typically I like to cook my steak medium to medium rare. Probably gonna do that a bit tonight. So we want to let it sit on each side, I believe, around 3 minutes. We'll give it 3 minutes. We're gonna flip it over, and then we're gonna go ahead and add the rest of our ingredients. But for now, we can go ahead and take ourselves a drink. That is really good. You gotta get yourself some. Can't tell you what it is, but it's good. If you can hear the music in the background, that is the Telepop music station on Pandora. I highly recommend it. Very soothing for that cooking. Fellas, don't you worry. It is not as hard as it looks. It's actually very simple. We'll check back with you in about, 2 minutes or so. Alright, so it's probably a little darker than I wanted it to come out, but hey, that's okay. We're going to just turn the heat down just a little bit, cook it a little bit longer. Next, go ahead and add the garlic. Now, you don't have to crush it. Just crack back it up a little bit. Just like so. Don't worry about peeling it. It's okay. Now, this would be a lot easier if I owned a pair of tongs, but since I don't, we gotta kind of do this the old-fashioned way. There we go. I'll add a little more oil. Not a lot, just a little bit of a small coat. Sounds good. Right. Like I said, fellas, it is not anywhere near as hard as it looks. Alright. While that's in there, we can go ahead and add the thyme. You can get this at any one of your grocery stores, really. This was like $1.34, I think. Adds a nice little bit of extra flavor to the meat. That's how you know you're doing it right. Oh, and that smells good already. I'm loving it. So we're on about 2.5 minutes for this side. Loving it. Absolutely loving it so far. Alright. Go ahead and turn it back over. Now you want to make sure that you also get the size of the steak here where the fat is, because you want to cook the fat down. So, in case you're wondering, yes, this does hurt just a little bit, but that's okay. That is perfectly alright. Switch hands here. The last little touch we're going to do, add some butter. And that is going to add just a little bit of extra flavoring to the steak. Really bring out that sweet succulence to it. Getting my Julia Child on now. If you don't know who that is, you should look her up. She's pretty entertaining. May have done this one a little more than I really wanted to, but hey, that's all right. When you're done cooking it on both sides, you can use the juice left over from the steak, the oil, the garlic, the thyme, and the butter to kind of marinate it. Alright. Turn that off. And go ahead and flip our potato back around 5 minutes. There. Put that there for now. Now we're going to let the steak rest. You smell like I should probably open up another window or something. Basically, excuse me, by letting the steak rest, we're going to basically give it a chance to kind of cook on its own heat. hold on a sec. I can't do this with one hand, so sit tight. I'll put you down for a second. Don't you worry. Ragnarok has got you. Cooking with Ragnarok, baby. Oh, yeah. Y'all can hear that sexy sound. Alright. Sorry about that. So we're going to let that rest for about 2 minutes or so. In the meantime, we're going to open up some more windows so we can get all the smoke about the apartment. Be back in a minute. Okay, so maybe the potato being in the microwave for 5 minutes was a little much. Yeah, don't eat that. I don't even know if you could. Might chip a tooth. But you know, you don't need a baked potato to make a good steak a good steak. So for now, here is the finished product. Now we did add a little bit of a side salad because fellas, I know some of you got your girl at home, you know, she's like, hey, you gotta have some green, and you're like, fuck, all right, whatever. So a little bit of a side salad there. We still got the steak, so juicy, so delicious. And for dessert, we still got that pie to peep in there. That'll be done in about another 15 minutes or so. But like I said, steak, not that hard to cook. You just got to make sure you cook it the right way. And I did get it a little darker than I wanted, like I said before, but that's okay. It still turned out very, very succulent. That's ultimately what you want. Nice and juicy. Overall, let's see, the T-bone sirloin was about $15. I got 2 of them. You can get cheaper cuts of meat. You can get more expensive cuts of meat. It's all going to come down to your preference and your budget. I'm a little bit of a cheapskate. What can I say? I like to cook on a budget, and it still turns out pretty good. Small list of ingredients, like I said before. Garlic, thyme, butter, salt, and pepper. And you're done. There's really nothing else you need. You can get fancy and add all the other seasonings if you want, but the true essence of a good steak is simplicity. Less is more. So we're going to go ahead and cut into that. We're going to enjoy our pie a little bit later. And, yeah, I'll be back tomorrow with a bonus secondary video. I'm going to show you guys how you can cook a big pot of something that'll last you all week. That way you don't got to be eating out all the damn time. $8, $9 a day really adds up after a while. So stay tuned to the channel for that. If you haven't already, hit that thumbs up button. Leave a comment below. Subscribe for future content. I don't just do fighting game stuff, apparently. Apparently now I also do cooking tutorials or videos or whatnot. So anyway, see you all next time. Peace. So juicy. Yeah, boy. Juicy and delicious. Some of that nice gravy. Oh my God. Oh. It's just not fair, Lord. Just not fair. It's like it was touched by an angel.